Welcome to the Orange and Steel podcast. I am your host, Atemi, and today I'm chatting with Nechia Omiyi about what to do when you feel stuck in your career. Nechia is a radiographer who specializes in ultrasound and who has been in the field for 18 years. She knows what it feels like to be stuck. But instead of starting over in a new career or doing something else, she found ways to grow, challenging herself and making an even bigger impact, all within the same profession. So stay tuned and enjoy the chat about this. If you're not following me yet, please follow, subscribe for more of this. Thank you. Hi, Nechia. Welcome to the Orange and Steel podcast. It is such a pleasure to have you here. Just before we go into the questions, can you introduce yourself, please?
Thank you, Temi, for having me today. My name is Nechia Omiyi, and I'm a radiographer, and I currently work as a sonographer in the UK.
Thank you very much. So we're diving right in. The first question is, share with us a bit of your career journey. Just share a little bit about your career journey so far.
Okay, like I said earlier, I'm a radiographer. I qualified in Nigeria, and I worked in Nigeria for about 13 years. Before relocating to the UK. One of the main reasons why I relocated to the UK was for experience, international experience and exposure. So those were the two main reasons why I decided to take the leap to relocate to the UK. And I've worked in the UK now for 5 years. I relocated in 2020, and I've worked as a sonographer since I came into the UK for 5 years now.
That's great. So that's 18 years altogether. Wow, that's been a while. So just in line with what we're talking about and what to do when you feel stuck in your career, at what point did you realize that you had hit a plateau? When did you start feeling like, oh, I need something more, I want something more, I want a change in my career?
So it was sometime when I was working in Nigeria. I just felt like everything had become so mundane, very routine. I wanted to be more, to get more challenges. I was too comfortable where I was, to be honest. I knew that, I'm still very young. I need, I need more challenges. I need to learn more. And I decided to improve myself, and I began to search for courses. I went for a lot of courses over the years. It was something I did for several years. I think my first international exposure was in Dubai. I went for a course that lasted for about a week, and in subsequent years I go to UK. So what I do at the beginning of the year, I'll just set out a course that I felt would fit into my role, plan towards it. I went to the UK, I went to the US, and one of the most significant was one I did in Harvard Teaching Hospital in Boston. Really impacted my career, and I came back with a lot of new initiatives that I implemented in my department in Nigeria. And it really made me stand out because I learned a lot of, new things anytime I went there. I remember my bosses then always saying how they know that I've worked in the UK, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm proud in the UK, but just the way I did my things, just the way, yes, my perspective towards things then just made them think that, no, this girl, she's not from here, that kind of thing played a huge role, in that. I learned a lot. And when I would come back, with new protocols that we were implement in the department. My colleagues, and I also started to, will I say, influence them. They also started to do the same thing too. Yes, a couple of them also started to, and these were all self-funded courses. We didn't wait for our employers to send us.
That's great. That's impressive.
Yes. So it was really good, and it's something I would advise anyone to do. You don't always have to wait for somebody to sponsor you. If you can, just start from here. The little you can do, invest in yourself. Even you don't even need to go abroad. Even online. There's so many online resources these days.
Right now, exactly.
Yeah,
It feels like nobody has an excuse. There's almost everything is online.
There's a lot of resources online that you can plug into, and it will change your life for good.
That is beautiful. I mean, you taking the initiative to do that, not waiting for your company to sponsor you. And you were working for a very good company. They could have had programs like that, but you took it upon yourself to go ahead and improve your skills. So yeah, that's a great one. That's a great one. So at what point did you now think, okay, yes, I'm doing this, but it's time for me to move to the next level?
I'm someone that I always like to stand out in what I do. I always
I
like
can
to,
tell.
yeah. So at some point in, I think 2019, I just decided that, okay, what else again? I'm already, I feel like, okay, I think I've done what everything I'm supposed to do at the moment.
Mm,
So what else now? And then I decided I think I need like the international work experience. That was one thing I felt I had not really gotten, and that was
okay.
what made me, yes, to, decide to pursue a career abroad in the UK, which I then started by applying for my practicing license in the UK, and then I started to
Mm,
search for job, and which was quite a very smooth process, and everything went through. I got a job in the UK, and I started working in the UK January 2020, just before the lockdown.
wow, the pandemic year. Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's really good. But just to take you back a little, and I'm asking this just because of the different places people could be in this situation. So, did you have like a period of introspection? Like, was there a time of deep reflection on what exactly was making you restless? I'm asking this because sometimes it's different things. So, some people it might be promotion, they haven't been promoted well. Some people might feel they no longer align with the values of the company. And then for some people, it might be other areas of their lives. And then you might just feel, oh, I'm feeling restless, I need to leave here. But it might be something, maybe something even happening at home. I mean, I've heard of a woman that felt that way because her husband was ill, but she didn't even know, and she just felt, oh, I want to leave this job. But when she took time to reflect, she realized it was because of what was happening in her life. So sometimes people are not satisfied in some other area of their lives, and it sort of like gets into the work environment. So when they don't reflect, it now makes them make like rash decisions because it just might not be the job, it might be something else. So that's why I'm asking you, like, did you have any time of reflection just to be sure of what was causing this?
Definitely, there were times of reflection, and I'm someone that, the Christian, of course, you pray and you seek divine guidance, and
Yeah.
yes, and because I know for sure that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I mean, in the profession I'm supposed to be. I didn't have any. I wasn't confused about that. I knew I was okay. I'm supposed to be a radiographer. I'm doing the right thing, but
Mm,
just because like I said earlier, I have this deep hunger to always stand out, to always be the best. I knew that, okay,
mm.
it's time to, seek for more. It's time to go for more. And that was what informed my decision, yes, in pursuing a career in the UK. Yes.
Okay, that's great. I love what you said. Like you were sure that this was the career path you were supposed to follow. Like you're where you're supposed to be. So it wasn't even a question of, is this what I'm supposed to be doing now? I've done this for so long. Am I supposed to go into something else? So that's a very good one because not too many people have that, and it's great that you know that this is where you're supposed to be. So my next question: after you started working in the UK, did you start thinking about pivoting again? Did you start asking yourself, what more can I do? Just wondering.
Yeah, so working in the UK, okay, that didn't come like immediately. Of course, getting to the UK, discovering new things, the different ways, things are done there. One of the things that really brought me to realize, okay, just relax, is even getting used to the culture. The culture is such a big deal, especially in the kind of work that I do.
Yeah.
Understanding the people, the average Nigerian patient looks up to you. You understand, looks up
Mm,
to you and trust you. Everything you say, they believe you, they trust you. But
yeah.
over here, they sort of question your authority. Let me put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody here, the first thing they think about is Google. Okay, whatever they're feeling, they Google it, and even before they come to you, they've already made their own diagnosis. It will not be, as in, it shouldn't surprise you here if someone is arguing with you, and even though you're like, "Ah, I'm the subject matter expert here," but the patient is also telling you that, this is what I read up. Do you understand? So what actually led me to, into my next phase was, okay, coming in here, working in the private sector. I just
Mm,
noticed that we didn't have a lot of continuous medical education. That's what we call it, like,
okay.
continuous learning, like I expected it to be. And
Mm,
then I realized, okay, that's a gap here. And I spoke with two of
so
my
you found
colleagues.
a gap. That's a
Yes,
good one.
yes. And I spoke to two of my colleagues. What do you guys think? Let's start doing this like CMEs once in 2 weeks on a Tuesday morning. And
Mm,
then we'll take turns, we'll research a topic, take turns, and then come and present. We said we were using Zoom. We still use Zoom anyway. So that was how it started. And they embraced it. Oh, they were like, oh, that's good. And because
mm,
it's a private clinic and we have a lot of franchise, about 50 clinics in the UK. So imagine all the, as more and more people started to get employed, we
mm.
had more and more members, and and it was really, it's been wonderful, let me put it that way. And after some time, we couldn't even really rely on us. We started to like seek resource people from outside the organization, that's from the organization, and that has been really, really wonderful as well, because they come with their own wealth of knowledge and experience, and it's something that we are all very happy about and we are grateful for. We've learned a lot over the years.
Mm-hmm.
The way it happens is just because you've maybe just learned about something, it looks like you are seeing it everywhere in every patient. You are just seeing that that condition. Let me put it
Yeah.
that way. But it's because it's fresh in your memory. You understand? So it's easy to spot, and everybody just realized that, oh, this thing is really, really useful. And so that was what actually led me into that phase of, doing CMEs, in form of webinars with my colleagues.
Yeah, that's a great one. I mean, that initiative. What I love is that you said you found a gap.
Yes,
People needed to be better trained. People needed
yes,
more knowledge on these things, and then you took advantage of that. Even in the face of COVID, because I remember
yes,
you had said the pandemic
no,
was
yes.
just kicked off, and then that was when the idea came. So that's beautiful. So tell us, at what point did you decide, okay, I need to take this to the world stage and start doing webinars for people outside my office and all of that?
Okay, so the webinar didn't actually start until 2021. 2020 was when the idea was being incubated, and of course,
Mm,
the lockdown. We worked in isolation, and the whole loneliness and everything. The beginning of 2021, January, was when the webinar kicked off, and we've been doing that since. Of course, like I said, we've had to get resource personnel from outside our organization. So one of the people, the young lady, she was like, why don't, this is a very good initiative, brilliant. Let's open it up, let more people. And I was a bit reluctant at first. I was like, because it's been an internal, arrangement,
yeah.
and I was like, okay, let's see. It won't be any, it will be, it shouldn't cause any harm. And then we opened it up, did a flyer, and the response was really overwhelming. Honestly,
Mm,
after that one, of course, you can't go back again, because people, are now, sending you messages, asking you when is the next one. So after that one, we've had like three now that we've um, made public on LinkedIn, and the response has been really, really mind blowing. We've had participants from all over the globe, let me put it that way. And it's really shocking, because you think that, these resources they are everywhere, but somehow,
yeah.
you just find that the little you think you are doing, it's, causing a lot of impact.
So tell us a little more about that. So when you say people from around the world, like what countries, and then I know you had mentioned a lot of young people to
Yeah.
have
So
been, yeah. So let
yeah, so we've had registrations from different kinds of countries: Saudi Arabia, Kenya, Uganda, Canada, even the USA. All, of course, the
wow.
UK, Nigeria, a lot of, Mexico. When I look at the list,
Oh
I'm like,
wow.
wow, wow. As in,
Yeah.
I'm always mind blown. I'm always, and I'm like, what am I doing that people are, running after like this?
Mm,
We have, and I've also noticed that since I started doing that, since I opened it up, publicly, I've
yeah.
had an increasing number of young people sliding into my DM, asking me for like career advice. A couple have come to me that they want to pursue a career in ultrasound. How do they go about it? And of course, I've been, patient enough just to tell them, okay, you need a foundation in radiography or medicine, something like, to pursue a career in ultrasound. And they've been really grateful. Recently, I had a young man from India just sent me a message, that he wanted to pursue a career in ultrasound. He needed some career guidance. And, I was able to guide him, and I plan to follow him up in
Really
maybe,
good.
because, yes, in a few months, just to see how far he has gone,
Yeah.
the last discussion.
Okay, that's really good. That's really good. So that brings me to my next question. Now that a lot of young people are also like reaching out to you, are you thinking of a mentorship program for them? And I mean, you just mentioned this Indian guy. I mean, it's something. The fact that he's reaching out to you, young people who want to start their career in radiography, even for some of them who have already been in it. So what are you thinking? Are you thinking in that line of mentorship or yeah?
Yes, but honestly, it's something that I've been thinking about, and I think I would start that a mentorship program very soon that will run like maybe two batches in a year. And I don't know
Okay,
when I'll
that's
start,
great.
but hopefully soon. Yes, there will be like two batches, at different points in the year. Also, in recent times, here in the UK, I've gone to schools to, I don't even know why, but I just feel this need like to share the good news of radiography in quotes. I don't know if that makes sense. Yes, I've walked into
Of course it
schools.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've walked into schools to tell them, oh, this is a radiographer. Would you like me to speak with your students, like the secondary schools here about radiography? And they were happy
Oh
about it.
wow.
One particular school, yeah, they gave me a slot, yes, a time slot and a date, and I went there to teach. I think I put the picture, it's somewhere in my LinkedIn, yes. And thankfully, my husband is also a radiographer. So we went there together that day. We presented to the young people. They were very happy, very excited. And believe it or not, today, a student from that school, I think that's what made me even remember it, sent me an email asking me, like, she said she wanted to pursue a career in radiography, that she wanted, like, clinical placement, something like that, like for exposure, just before she makes her
Wow.
decision, which I could help, yes. So I think that was what
That
even
is
made me remember
beautiful.
this, yes, because I got that email just this morning. And I was like, wow, this is a good one. What can I do? I was just thinking that, Lord, what do I do to help this young girl? I need to help her if she wants to pursue a career in radiography. She sent me an email that if I could connect her to like a clinic or somewhere where she could get exposure during her summer holidays. Yes.
I
So
mean, Nechia, this is brilliant. So, so nobody like told you to go to the schools. You just came up
nobody,
with that because you wanted to make impact.
honestly, nobody.
Wow.
I remember that day I was on my way from work. I had closed work very early, and I looked at the time and said, before this school's closed, it's been on my mind, and I just drove in, and they received me very well, very, as in I was surprised. One or two of them, redirected me, sent an email to this, and which I did, and I didn't get any response. But at least the school that gave me audience, it went well. They gave me a date in, I think it was last year, March or so. And I went there, and they had like careers week. And yes, myself and my husband, we presented to them, and it was fantastic. In fact, the ladies gave a feedback that they've had different companies and what have you coming to talk, that this was like the most impactful, because this was not a company or
Wow.
anything like that. It was just individuals in that profession coming to sell their profession, and we had questions, from the young people. It was really good. It was really, really good. I really enjoyed it that day, to be honest with you. I enjoyed myself. Yes, I had
Of
a good
course,
time.
I think what I love about yours is that you genuinely want to like influence people and make influence people positively, obviously, and
Absolutely.
make the right impact in people's lives. And I think it's so beautiful because when we think about feeling stuck in our career, I mean, this is an example of how you can actually still make impact in that
Impact.
same
Yes,
career path if you think about how much impact you can make in the lives of people.
of
And
people.
this is just so
Absolutely.
beautiful. I'm inspired
Thank
by what
you.
you're saying. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, we've just said about this, but you didn't tell me this bit, and it's just
Yes.
lovely to hear it
Yes.
because
I
it's
just
great.
remembered because I got an email this morning.
Okay, that's true. Of course. And then I just want to ask.
Yes.
So would you say that this has helped you build a personal brand in your industry?
So I would say without even meaning to, without knowing, without
Hmm.
planning it, it has just
Yeah.
happened naturally. I would put it that way because now people know me for something, you understand? They know me
Mm-hmm.
for, ultrasound education and people are reaching out. Yes, they want to partner, they want to, they have an idea, different last 1 2 weeks, different kind of pitching. Even this morning, somebody reached out, something about AI and ultrasound, which is something very, yes, excellent. So without even
Yeah.
meaning to, just wanting to make an impact, but I would say has given me that, yes, that personal brand, which I'm grateful to God for. Yeah, really, because I didn't plan to come out
That is
and be.
beautiful.
Yes, my own was just okay. Let us propagate this gospel of radiography, this knowledge of ultrasound, and here I am today.
Yeah, you are today making great impact, and I just love that. It's flowing from one thing to another. And as you
Another,
rightly said, you didn't set out to build a personal brand, but because of your desire to really make an impact, you have automatically built one. And that leads me to my next question. So, how has networking helped you in your journey? Do you attend, do you industry events? Do you reach out to people? I just want to understand how the impact networking has also made in this journey.
Absolutely. The impact of networking cannot be overemphasized. I've attended a couple of industry conferences, trainings, and I've met wonderful people that I've connected with. And in fact, some of our speakers have come from those places because I met them, introduced myself, and then we exchanged
Yeah.
contacts. And I'm able to I was able to reach, back to them to say, oh, can you come and teach us? Remember, I spoke to you about this. And they were very happy to
Mm.
do that. If one of them is coming back for the second time,
Oh, great.
yeah, to teach us. And also the fact that myself and my husband were in the same profession. I also leverage
Mm.
on his own network as well. He also support because he is in academic, I'm in clinical. So I have, yes, his network to leverage on as well. So definitely networking has been a great deal of help to what I do currently. Networking has been very, very useful. Meeting new people that align with your purpose and they are happy to to key in and support in whatever way they can. So yes, I'll say networking has really been very useful.
That's great. Your story has been one of resilience and impact and growth. And I just want to ask, were there people you spoke to for advice? Were there mentors you looked up to that influenced your decisions?
So to be honest, I won't say I have a mentor that I maybe talk to occasionally or frequently. I have mentors
Mm.
that I observe from afar, and one of them is one of my bosses I worked with earlier on in my career. The man was really, really, really excellent.
Mm.
Even in the way he reasoned, his perspective, the way he even set up his clinic, you could see that there was
Yeah.
something. And of course, I soon realized that he trained in Canada, and or like, okay, definitely this is the Canadian touch here, and that really inspired me. And of course, a lot of people, seniors in the industry that are making
Yeah.
impact. Yes, I look up to them. I follow them on LinkedIn.
Mm.
I read up on all everything that their perspective on industry issues, and that has really helped to shape me as well.
That's really great. And it just goes to show that you don't always have to have that one person that you're talking to all the time.
Yes,
You actually can watch other people in that field and then see what they do. I mean, like that, your former boss, for
yes,
example, he didn't even know you were watching him, but you were observing and taking
yes.
note. I remember you said he built the first digital.
Yes. He
What
actually
was that?
started the first digital radiology business in Nigeria. He was the first
Nigeria?
person, yes, to start. Even as at then, it looked like, is it possible? But I mean, I worked there for a couple of years, so and even though it looked like a very difficult thing to start in Nigeria at the time, but one man did it, and I mean that showed me that I mean you can do anything you set your mind to do, and that really, really inspired me a lot.
Yeah, that's really good. So, just to follow up on the mentorship bit, I know you said you watch people, what you've watched a lot of people who you look up to and all of that. But I wonder if you have like habits or a particular mindset that has helped you stay motivated and focused. Because as much as you're saying all of this, we know that it's still not easy. You still need to be motivated. You need to remain focused. You need to push. So I'm just wondering what habits and mindsets have really helped you stay motivated and focused.
Okay, so I'm someone that is constantly seeking for knowledge and wanting to know more all the time. So I find myself researching, reading books, and I'm also someone that has this mindset of impact. Like I mentioned earlier, how I went to the secondary school, I just had this deep burden in me that no, let me talk to younger ones, younger people, because I find that they don't even know what they want to do, and this has been a blessing to me. I mean, radiography as a profession. I'm like, okay, let me tell this good news. I just believe that there's something that I can give out that will be useful to, somebody or to some people. No matter how, of course, I'm not the most intelligent, I'm not the best radiographer in the world. There are people that will benefit from whatever knowledge I have. That's going. Yes, and that has been my major motivation, to be honest. And of course, wanting to give out from the little I have, to share the knowledge and to impact others.
That's really great. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing all of this. No, because a lot of people are in these shoes, and then some don't even know what next they want to do, if to jump out and start something or not. And then many times you can actually just search within, find out what else you can add to your industry and do that. And your story is an example of how you can really find ways to improve in that industry, find the gaps, and then do something about it. But I mean, we won't forget those who might want to actually run a business by the side or even start their own practice. Maybe a lawyer who wants to start his own practice, or someone like you, a radiographer who might want to focus on consulting.
Just like you rightly said, it's something that I have in mind for perhaps in the future to have a consultancy business or even a private practice. So I quite agree with that. Yes.
Well, that's great. That's great. And of course, I can tell you're going to do great at it because, I mean, you're already doing something like that. I also love the mentorship program you're thinking of. I mean, you're so resourceful. Well done. And thank you for sharing your talent with people that really need it and also inspiring us to do more. So we've come to the end of the podcast, but I want to ask you a last question. So what advice would you give someone currently stuck in their career and wondering what to do next?
So I would say that, like for me, what I did was I took time to reflect, and of course, as a Christian, I took time to pray and ask God for the next step and find guidance. God led me to ultrasound, focusing on ultrasound education. So of course, we know that for every of our path in life, divine guidance is the ultimate. So I'll just advise, yes, and then trust God to direct you.
Thank you for spending this time with us, sharing your knowledge, your story. Wow, I must say I am inspired, and I'm sure you've inspired a lot more people. So thank you, and we look forward to having you on this podcast again.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm really honored to be able to share my story with you. Thank you.
Thank you, and have a lovely day.